This is the last step. I wanted to share something with you that isn't exactly chemical, but to tell you that whenever you study anything, whether it's in the arts or the sciences, pure or applied, there's one last step you need to take before you can say, yep, I nailed it, I learned it. Just give you some things to look at. Beauty, whether from the natural world or from the art and craft of humans, we seem destined, designed to recognize what is beautiful. I think there's a certain beauty to this. It's certainly ordered. Whether from the natural world or from the moral world of human beings, we seem designed to recognize good people, good things, and good things that people do. This woman spent pretty much her whole life with the poor of Calcutta. Important things you may have gotten involved in. And then, whether from the natural world or from the human world of discovery, we seem designed to recognize the truth. If you've not read the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of the United Nations, I would encourage that. This is a design for Edgerton's thesis. I have no idea what Edgerton's thesis is, but it is true. And one you're all familiar with. Let's look at the steps to learning something. And this may be something that appeals to you, that you understand, perhaps from any accomplishment you've had, say, in athletics, or in art, music, or in science. You have to decide to learn, first of all. If you don't do that, you're not going to learn. You have to be introduced to the basics, either by yourself or with an instructor or guide. You have to apply the basics, say, to problem solving. Then you have to perfect your skills through practice and development. And then you have to hate the subject in order to learn something. Chesterton said something that I'd like to read to you about hating and loving something you're learning. The principle is this, that in everything worth having, even in every pleasure, there is a point of pain or tedium that must be survived, so that the pleasure may revive and endure. The joy of battle comes after the first fear of death. The joy of reading Virgil comes after the bore of learning him, and I certainly know that from fourth year Latin. The glow of the sea bather comes after the icy shock of the sea bath. And yes, the success of the marriage comes after the failure of the honeymoon. And it's true that all human vows and laws and contracts are so many ways of surviving with success this breaking point, this instant of potential surrender. What is the instant of potential surrender? Well, keeping your goggles on. taking and failing the 5th quiz in a row, back when we had quizzes every day. Avogadro's hypothesis. Oh yes, and you had to sing some songs for me. And some of you forgot that certain elements are diatomic. Oh yeah, this is the biggie. Where was the instant of your potential surrender that you had to survive? All of us had to survive that moment. I'll tell you that at the end, I graduated from high school being thought to be kind of a genius, and I got a little proud of that. And I was also a pretty good chemistry student. So I got to college and I decided I was going to minor in chemistry. I ended up majoring. And the first week, I got thrown something that I'd never seen before, because all we had was the Bohr atom in high school. And we didn't study anything about electron configurations and structures of molecules and atoms. And the instructor came in and said, started teaching us electron configurations using the most arcane method of learning it you can imagine. And by Thursday, I was convinced that I didn't know anything. I went into his office and I said, "Brother, I'm going to have to drop chemistry." And he said, "Oh, Pat, you've never seen this before, haven't you?" He says, "Don't worry, you'll be fine. Just hang in there and you'll get it." And yeah, I graduated with a degree in chemistry. But I could have given up. I had to survive that moment. Here's a secret to success. Is to learn and to love what you're learning. And I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to all of you this year, and here in the last 10 weeks, in a very difficult situation. You've looked at me and you've understood me. You've said from time to time, "You really love this stuff, don't you?" Yeah, I love to share that affection for learning. I love to share that affection for chemistry. And I want to thank you for the privilege of being your teacher. But learn the lesson that I tried to teach you here about how to learn anything. Survive that moment of potential surrender.